Jeff Olson, how's it going with you in the land
Very
of
well.
rock and roll music?
Yes. Rock and roll all night, all day, every day,
And then every morning.
every morning,
Excellent, excellent.
every evening.
Now you got a lot of products on the go and projects.
Yes, yes.
How's everything going for you? And
Very, very well. One of my favorites right now is working with Engraved and working with Victor Griffin and Pete Campbell and Guy. It's just incredible what we're doing. We've never played together live, and we're about to go on a 10-date festival tour, but yet we've played together on the record. So we're all excited. In 3 weeks from now, we'll be popping on the road over in Osnabrück, Germany. Then we're going to be in Holland, and then Spain, back to Germany, then Austria, more Germany, the Netherlands, and then ending up in London.
wow.
And then in the summer, we're going to be in Milwaukee at a cool festival. So we've got, these festivals are really cool. Roadburn, Desert Fest, Doom Shall Rise, Terneuzen is on fire in Terneuzen, Netherlands, well, two Desert Fests, and then Days of the Doom in Milwaukee this summer. So very, very heavy Hammond organ work that I'm getting to participate in. So that's the first thing on the whole
now, Jeff,
schedule.
and Jeff, for this stuff, you don't bring like your iPads and play your organs on the iPads like some people could do now with the technology.
Well, exactly. Right now, it's funny you said that. It's exactly what I do other than my Hammond that I have at home. I'm actually rehearsing on the iPad because it's going to be more of what I'm going to be doing live. So, I mean, I have a nice L100 tube Hammond here, tube Leslie's that cranks out like old school 70s. Well, it's I think it's a 1969 Hammond, but and the iPad sounds it sounds brilliant. It's awesome.
It's incredible how tiny the stuff can be, and it's same sound almost.
Yes, yeah, it has drawbars. I mean, it's and percussive settings that you can just. I mean, it sounds so real, and it's just wonderful.
Now, and this is going to be engraved. That's going to be touring,
Yes, engraved.
and you got another product called Retrograve.
Yes, and Retrograve I've been working on for many years as a nice, slow-paced, trying to find its home without it being coined, categorized, and that's kind of difficult. An interesting thing we were talking about this morning, Roadburn is doing some really cool, not just the concerts that they're doing at the festival. There's like master classes and teaching. There's also events that you go to before the concerts that are talking about what is it possible to make a great album with in this day and age, something like Dark Side of the Moon or something just amazingly, new with that took time in the day, and took money during the day. Now they're wondering if the speed of things, being able to just record at home with Pro Tools and then, all the wonderful technology like we just talked about, is it still possible to make a slower record, and that would totally fit my Retrograde. I have not decided. I've worked on 3 different versions of my Skullduggery record. One is just straight ahead, guitarist doom, and then I've been fusing a lot more modern orchestral, not having an orchestra come over, but writing all kinds of percussive pieces and into that as interludes, and that is what I've been saying. So, yeah, Retrograve is coming along with a record called Skullduggery, and it's basically a story of this chick who runs away, and it's just evolving into this master doom kind of really cool structure, really cool plan that I have that I've always loved, all the sounds that I love from my own, heart from the day, They'll be heavy keyboards, heavy harmony, melody, counterpoint, strong percussion, and then guest guitar players, and then Jay Cortez, man, back again from the Again record.
Mm-hmm.
He plays in Matzo, a Peruvian wonderful metal band, and he's down in Boston, and he is just a great guy. So he's my guy. We're going to get together pretty much after we get back from this, and keep going on this project, Skullduggery by Retrograve. That's the Retrograve news.
And what do you think of the land of music now? Like everything coming out on the billboards. We are seeing some metal stuff, coming on the Billboard charts and that. You think it's a good thing nowadays because it's getting people to discover different bands?
Yeah, I think it's completely positive. I think it's exciting that a small towns will even get, in remote towns, will get to have, groups like Clutch and Sword coming through, things like as little as that. And then these are the super groups of our genre, of heavy music. But one thing that I have been finding out more and more each day is that music is fun, like the 70s. Popular music and indie music are almost one and the same. It's fun. You can go and, if you like something that's more, got a rave thing going on, or a strange, even a hip hop concept, you got that. And then you have stoner doom is out there getting more popular all the time, which is a very 60s 70s kind of psychedelic, the offspring, the baby of psychedelic heavy acid rock and early metal, and then metal and hardcore is thriving. And these are, I think, the musicians and the generations coming and the generations going are getting to enjoy their art, and especially with these festivals. I mean, I looking at this Desert Fest in England and in Berlin that we're doing, and the groups are just, there's some comedy in it. There's humor involved in the super cool sound. Now, it's not that it hasn't been done before. Of course, music's been experimented with, all the way since the first spark of the of the stone or whatever. I think of Mel Brooks, the history of the world, when they smashed Sid Caesar's foot with the rock, and he goes, nothing's really new, but it is new. It's like cooking or beer making or wine making or making recipes. It all gets somebody's own spice. I'm seeing that nowadays, and I really like that a lot. Some of the things I don't like is formula on maybe some of the television. Some of the TV is kind of weird with the reality shows. It's been, over the years, and that's related to pop. It relates to our music. But the talent that's out there in the world and the enjoyment of the art, I think right now is really exciting times for everybody, old and young and middle-aged.
Of course. So, Jeff, you'd say that today, the people are more talented than they ever were?
Oh, man. No, not that. I just think that there's a lot of talent at different levels, and it's a great celebration. I would say it like that.
Okay.
Of course, back in the 18th century, like pagan, even before that, you didn't have anything to distract you from your love of your violin or something. So you would, all day long just become, incredible. I don't know if people have that kind of time. I think, but that doesn't mean that there isn't virtuosity in music as far as that, does that make sense?
That makes total sense, when you look at people like Niccolo Paganini and stuff like that, they are very on top of their musicianship, of that era, and making stuff that still stands the test of time today.
Yeah. And what's neat is now, I think back to what we were saying with it now, young kids can go, look at that guy and look at his story when he was, you know, developing, and when he got found, um, his music was so incredible. They thought he was satanic. They thought he was like magical, and they were worried about him, like people that are suspicious,
Hmm.
and you know how that is. Um, and but a new generation of like nowadays, a kid could go, what made him that great, and he will go learn and get it and go for it, and then we'll get that. We'll get another Paganini someday, and there's plenty. You go online, you see like kid drummers that are 6 that are shedding and reading great charts, and they feel relaxed and they look great. I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful.
And Jeff, one other thing, you're in the interview world yourself. You do a lot of interviews, and how's that going for you?
It's going great. We're shutting it down a little bit just during the rehearsing for Engraved and tour. Going back to more musician mode. We go back to it. Our last one we did was Arthur Brown. I do that because it started as a thing that keeps us excited in chatting with all the different bands that are out there. So what you're doing, and it gets you connected with people. It was really networking, but it became this joyous, absolute blast. Absolute blast of talking on the phone with with all kinds of musicians and artists. It's just so much fun. Yeah, that's heavy metal. I love that. It's fun.
One thing too, I look at it in the way like we're making history. You're recording something that's documented today to be heard in the 400 years from now. For people that know what the music was in this time, this age. Because you didn't get that. When the people went on 70s radio stations, they weren't recording their interviews or stuff like that. Would you say? Is it looked at like that in your eyes at all?
Yes, completely. Some things were lost. Some things sat around in studios, and we got to clean this up, And they were big, bulky, 2-inch reels, or even quarter-inch or 1/8-inch reels, and a lot of that stuff is, old radio shows. I was talking about that with Arthur Brown. He had King Biscuit Flour Hour. He had these shows that contained interviews. I find, like you're saying, I couldn't agree more. It's journalism. Even if we're not the greatest, it's always funny. Someone will always critique us and say, oh, how lame. I mean, remember earlier I was talking about pronouncing words and
Right,
things.
right. Yeah.
I remember in an interview with Wino that I didn't mention Scott from Neurosis, and I call him the Neurosis dude. Boy,
Yeah.
man, everybody was emailing how bad I was. It was really funny. In all humility, oh man, it is fun, and we're journalists in a way, but we're not the best maybe at it. But who has to be the best? I think it's just what we can maybe pull from artists' minds and hearts, souls. They may say something completely funny, or they may say something completely gripping, like that just makes you go and rethink something.
Right.
Ulrich Roth gave me the longest final question. I always ask, what do you think right now? What would you like to say? That was one of my questions that you may have heard before. And Ulrich Roth's was almost 20 minutes long. I didn't know what to do with all that. And then Arthur Brown, it just went quiet, and then he laughed. I mean, it was like 1 second long. But his interview was long. But everyone reacts so differently that I think, like you're saying, it's in the moment.
When you're doing a day job and then you come into this because of the love of it,
Yeah.
it's you don't have time to go digging into every little thing, pronunciation, etc.
Sure.
You let the fans do that.
That's right, right. And let them tell us, which is great.
because then it's giving us, what you call hits on the websites, etc. The people want to click on
Sure.
that. Good for you.
Right. Right. It works two ways, doesn't it? There.
Something
Uh,
like that. Yeah.
which is great. That's interaction. That's what this is about. That's what technology is about today. With the internet, we're intertwined with each other. We're sewn together. The whole entire world. It's incredible.
Well, Jeff, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and hope this all goes great for this summer. Engraved and retrograve as well, and all your products that you're doing, projects.
Excellent, Jason. Thank you very, very much for this time.
You're very welcome, and we'll talk to you again there in the future, near future, and
Great.
we're in contacts now.
That sounds fine. Yeah,
All right, you let me know what's going on in the career, okay?
I definitely will. That's awesome.
All right, you take care and have a great weekend.
You too, man.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Later.